Hi there friends, and welcome to my setup for my 2021 bullet journal. I know I'm a little late to the party compared to some other YouTubers, but it is here, it is New Year's Eve, and let's dive into a brand new journal. As you can see, I am using another bullet journal from Archer and Olive. I'm using one of the 192-page dot grid notebooks. These have been my go-to for the last couple bullet journals, and last year the normal size, I think it's about 160 pages, wasn't quite it for me, so I decided to go with the thicker notebook, and I'm really happy I did. The page quality is so nice, and I could talk about how much I love these notebooks for ages and ages. They're just super wonderful. I am moving into my setup here, and I tried a few new things this year that I'm really excited to talk about and get into. Here I'm just using my Archer and Olive acrylographs to write out 2021 and then lettering in a quote on the other side. So I thought I would talk a little bit about my planner lineup for 2021 because I think that everybody has a different planner system that works for them based on how their mind works and how their organization works, etc., etc. So I'm using my bullet journal as my main planner for the year. I'm also using a happy planner again. I picked up one of the habits, I think it's called Healthy Habits layouts. I think those are really great. I like to use that instead of a calendar for kind of more long-term planning and looking at my week at a glance. And I use my bullet journal for more kind of to-do lists, collections, notes to myself. I tried going without the happy planner for a few months last year, but it just, I don't know, there's something about using them in tandem that really clicks for me, so I'm going to just go back and keep going with that. And also, I'm using the app Notion a little bit more lately. I'm kind of just using that for any time I need to make a note of something and I don't have my journal with me, because I am not great with the whole memory situation. So I'm just finishing up this quote here. For my intro quote, I used a quote from Critical Role from Not, and it says, "There could be for all of us another chapter." And I thought that was just a really good sentiment to go into the new year. I know that it's just another day and it's not going to solve all the problems that 2020 had, but there's something nice about just having this fresh start and getting into a new year and kind of losing the quote-unquote baggage of 2020. So here I'm working on my future log, and I used this idea that Amanda Rach Lee used in her bullet journal setup for 2021, where I basically made a mini notebook in the middle of my notebook. I've always wanted to do a Dutch door future log. I tried to do one last year and it just didn't work at all. It didn't happen. It ended up in me like rage tearing like 3 pages out of my journal. It was really bad. But this year, this worked for me a little bit better. So I have 3 months on each of the little spreads, and I made sure that I went through and calculated how many pages I could use each month, so I wasn't taking too many pages out of my journal to do this. And it basically just keeps the future log all in one place, which I really like, rather than having it across 2 or 3 different pages. I have tried a single spread future log, and it was a little bit too small if you want to include the little calendars and stuff, which I like to include. So I'm just adding in the months. I only do the first mini page in the video because writing out those numbers is a lot to do on camera, and it's just, I don't think it's that fun to watch. But if you like watching me write out numbers, let me know, and I will be sure to write out every number on my camera for you guys. I hope that everyone had a really nice holiday season, regardless of what you celebrate. I hope you were able to have some time to put up some lights and enjoy the weather wherever you are. If you're in a place where it's warm, I hope you enjoyed the warmth. And if you're like me and had a lot of snow on Christmas, I hope that was enjoyable too. I love a white Christmas myself. I had a really cozy holiday just at home with my family. We really don't do anything exciting for Christmas most years, so this year wasn't that different for us, all things considered. And I'm looking forward to a cozy New Year's too. I think a couple friends and I are going to play some board games, I think, for New Year's this evening, so that'll be really fun. I am recording this voiceover on New Year's Eve, the last day of this cursed year. I know that, 2020 the problem isn't with the calendar itself and with like the year that's written in there, but it feels really good to be out of this year. So I've moved on here to my goals and my 21 things to do in 2021 page. It was really interesting setting goals for the new year because last year a lot of my goals and, things I wanted to do involved traveling and going places, which obviously 2 months into the year that was kind of not really a thing so much anymore. But so this year I really tried to focus on goals that were kind of more introspective and goals that were more working toward things, rather necessarily than saying, oh, my goal is to travel more, or my goal is to go to this place or that place or this Comic-Con or that event. I'm just kind of focusing on myself, and it doesn't matter where I am. These goals are going to be attainable whether I'm out and about or at home. My province, I live in Ontario, Canada, and we are in a lockdown until I think the 23rd of January. That I've learned that you can't count on anything, so for all I know, we could be in lockdown a little longer than that, but just trying to enjoy it and embrace the hibernating of it all. On the other side, I made a list of 21 things to do in 2021. I like to do this. I've done it the last few years. And it's fun to just make a list of things I want to try, habits I want to make, bad habits I want to break, things like having less screen time, being more intentional about my social media, getting together with friends virtually, and making plans for getting together in real life when it's safe. And now I've moved on to my series tracker. I haven't figured out all 21 things on the list yet, so I'm still working on the last few, trying to pick out some more things that I want to do next year. The series tracker, I also was really inspired by Amanda Rachely. I thought that was a really nice idea to have a series tracker at the beginning of the journal. I've always done them as collections kind of a few months in, and I really like the idea of having it at the very front of the bullet journal so you always know where it is. So I'm just decorating with a little washi tape and a little cell phone with the Netflix logo that I doodled on a separate piece of paper and then taped in. I find that if you're not confident in your doodling, and I am super not, drawing it on another piece of paper, cutting it out and gluing it in is super helpful because if it doesn't work, you're not stuck with it in your journal forever. And also, another alternative to that is drawing us on the separate paper, seeing how it looks, and then recreating it in your journal. And that's what I did in my January setup, which is actually coming in a separate video tomorrow because my plan with me took so long that the video would have been absurdly long if I had both of them together. So you get a part 2 on New Year's Day. It's going to be great. And this is another one of my staple spreads here on my bookshelf. I'm adding in a couple stickers from this Happy Planner sticker book to decorate the bookshelf with. My goal is 20 books for this year. I set the same goal last year, did not even come close. I read embarrassingly few books last year. So I want to change that. I want to embrace audiobooks too. I've always felt like audiobooks are cheating, but they're not. And so I'm going to embrace that a bit more this year. And I'm also adding in these little clouds. This is, I don't know if you can tell from my sweater sleeve, this is the next day. I lost light real bad the first day when I filmed this. And overnight, I saw Martha's Journal on Instagram with these adorable little gray clouds on her spread for her goals, and I was immediately inspired. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta do some little clouds with these hanging stars. I like keeping it really simple with my color scheme, so I just added a couple pops of color and stuck to mostly neutrals, golds, and then of course this light pink and this dark green that kind of make appearances throughout. I think it turned out really cute. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But thank you, Martha's Journal on Instagram, for that inspiration with the clouds. This next page, I believe, yes, this is my package tracker page, and as well as my gift list and my wish list. Once again, this was super inspired by Amanda Rachely, which is interesting because I've never really done a thing where I've lifted a lot of spreads from other journaling videos, but there was something about her setup for this year that really clicked with me and embraced that kind of staying at home. Maybe it's because she's also in Ontario, so she's also in this lockdown along with me, but it was really helpful and it brought me a lot of really good ideas that I hadn't thought of on my own. So I'm just making this little tracker for any packages that I order over the next while. I recently signed up for Amazon Prime just for a few small things. I try to avoid Amazon when I can because I would rather support small businesses, but there's some points where the convenience is necessary. So I have this written down. I think I have one package in there. I ordered like a new blanket in a Boxing Day sale because I really needed one. My old comforter is very threadbare and is starting to get a lot of rips in it, and you can only stitch them up for so long before you go, okay, I think this is an old blanket, and I think I'm ready for a new cover. So looking forward to having that and, embracing that fresh January start. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not so much a spring cleaning person. I'm more of a January cleaning person. I think it's because my birthday comes toward the end of the month. So between Christmas and my birthday, I really am bringing some new things into my space. So I like to tidy up and declutter and make room for any gifts and stuff that I got for Christmas or for my birthday. And one of my kind of traditions is doing a bookshelf reorganize, which I'm super excited about. And I am thinking about making a little video about it. I'm not sure if I'll just document it on Instagram or if I will make a video here. But I'm very excited to organize my bookshelf. I got some nice books and some Funko Pops for Christmas, so gotta give those a nice home. And speaking of YouTube, I am moving on to this page, which is a YouTube ideas tracker. This is something that I really wanted to do to create a space to brainstorm, to track video ideas and how I've progressed on them, and also to set some goals for YouTube, because I've set the more generic goal of wanting to be more consistent, but I wanted to also set some other goals, like I would love to reach 1,000 subscribers this year. To basically essentially double my subscriber count would be like the biggest goal for the year. And the way that you do that is you make consistent content. And so that is one of my big goals for this year, to get to make some really cool videos for you guys, show you just different ways to approach journaling and memory keeping from a different perspective maybe. I think that scrapbooking, especially with the rise of bullet journaling, has become a lot more accessible for young people. When I first started scrapbooking, it felt like it was a middle-aged women club that I was not entirely invited to. And it was always a very weird feeling when I'd go to scrapbook events and stuff, and I would be this like 16, 17-year-old girl like scrapbooking along with people that were like double my age or older. And it was very weird and alienating. But I feel now that you get a lot more people in their 20s who are childless or, not building a family yet, scrapbooking. And I think that's really cool and really wonderful. And I would love to contribute to that community and show you guys how I memory keep, even though it's just me. There's no kids or anything yet. Well, I have Olive. She kind of counts. I also just completely talked through that last spread, which was my bullet journal collections ideas, but that's a pretty big staple, and it kind of speaks for itself. And this is the last page in my setup, and this is something totally out of my comfort zone, totally new for me. I am making a 2021 vision board. I've never made a vision board before, so I didn't entirely know what it was, but I basically have a board on Pinterest. I think it's one of my secret boards, and it has just photos and quotes and stuff that are a little vision board for me. So I pretty much printed out that Pinterest board so I could have a physical, tactile way to look at these pictures as well. So I'm just adding a few stickers from my Happy Planner book. I'm rifling through my stickers there before I stick everything down. But I printed out some photos that go along with my goals for the year. Things like trying more recipes, reading more books, decorating a really intentional space for myself. And I also included the reveal of my one little word for 2021, which is authentic. One Little Word is a word of the year scrapbooking project that is run by Ali Edwards. I am not doing the workshop this year because it just wasn't in my budget, but I'm going to be documenting kind of my little journey with my word in my Project Life album for this year. So I'm very excited to explore authenticity in terms of my relationships, in terms of my possessions and my space and my thoughts. I'm really excited to explore what it means to be me this year. And we are now in the final flip through. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed chatting with me for a little bit here. We love getting out on a tangent. Be sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't to see more close-ups of my spreads. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet. I make all kinds of bullet journaling and scrapbooking videos, and I can't wait to be creative in this space with all of you for this year. As always, keep it magical. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.